Good evening, folks, and welcome to Sonofdel's life vlog. It is February the 9th. Let's check that myself. It is February the 9th, only 5 days to Valentine's Day. Coming up on tonight's vlog, I've got an unboxing. I've also got a book review of a book I read last month. Well, yeah, part last month, part this month. I've also got a comedy series to review as well. I've done a couple more jigsaws, which I will show you the pictures of, and I've had a couple more other things that I've bought, which I will show you as well. So all of that to follow. Coming up first, we have got the unboxing of the Zbox for February 2021. So here we go, folks, and here's hoping that this box is better than last month's box, because last month's box was pretty atrocious, really. We start off with, that's a good start at least, particularly for my wife, who's mad on these. She must have about 9 of these now, what I've had in boxes. Coming away from it, it's the Harry Potter, set of Harry Potter 3 notebooks. Nice and small, nice and compact, easy to put in your pocket or your diary, or in your handbag or whatever. 3-pack. If I do it there, can you see it there? Am I going that side? Oh, that side's better actually. Yeah, Harry Potter, Mischief Managed, apparently, and that's a set of 3 little books. The second item. Oh, it's a Pixel Pal, and it's actually a really cool one, actually, if you're a big fan of Back to the Future. It's Doc Brown. Let me get it right. Doc Emmett Brown. If I do it like that, you might be able to see it. There you go. Doc Brown, and he's a little Pixel Pal. I'm trying to keep it out of the light, because once the light hits it, you've got no chance. Doc Brown, and he's a Pixel Pal from Back to the Future. There's a little picture of him on the side. Doc Brown. That's number 2. Third item is obviously the T-shirt, and this month says, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not one I'd wear, but I think I'll pass it on. If I hold it like that, you'll be able to see that, and I'll lift it up slowly. It's Zelda. It's a Zelda T-shirt. It's not one I'll wear, but I can understand them chucking that in. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. The next item. Oh, hey up. What we got here? A collectible Vinimates figure. I don't know this one, and it's Dark Side DC vinyl figure. It's pretty cool, actually, if you look at that. I'll have to take that out of the box, show you, I think. I'll take that out of the box and show you after this video is finished. There's Dark Side. That's the third item. Fourth item, sorry. Fifth item. Oh, way up. Oh, I know a friend of mine who'll want this. It's a fig, as seen on Netflix. It's a Q fig, and it's actually, can you see that? It's Jessica Jones. Kicking and walling by look at that. Yeah, kicking and wall. You can just see it kicking the wall. Again, I'll take these out of the box so you can see them after I've done this video. So there you go. Jessica Jones. And what we got here? A Lil Illich Goon Squad. 5 diabolical dictators. Which colour will you get? Ooh. Shall we have a look, see what we get? It's sealed. Just hold on 1 second. I'll do my best to open it. Then we can see what we've got, can't we? See, you can tell this is new because I'm opening it first. Look, I'm opening it. Look. Brand new figure. Let's see who we get. Big silver packet. Big silver packet, that is. Tell you what, it's a fair size figure and all. It is a fair size figure, this. Making sure I don't cut anything off it. Oh, there you go. Who've I got here? Okay. It's a cozy kid robot. Come down there like that, look. It's a bust. It's a bust of, wait a minute, what does it say? Kozik. I don't know who he is actually, that one. I can't think who he is actually. I should know who he is, but I can't picture him. I think it's Lenin, but I'm not sure. Try and get in a bit better so you can see, because with it being white, see, it's not going to show up, is it really? Anything there? Yeah, you can just see the facial features, but not much. And that is a kid's robot figure. So put that in there. So that's a lot better box than there was last month. There are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items in it. 6 items. That's pretty good. That really is pretty good. The one I've got apparently is the Pyongyang player. No, it isn't. It isn't. Hang on. No, it isn't. It isn't. I've got Lil Illich. I've actually got the Lil Illich figure, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah. Sorry, something I forgot to do with the figure. I wonder why it got a hole in his mouth. You're supposed to put. If you can get it in there, I think you can actually. It's not very well made. No, it's not very well made. That he's supposed to be able to put his pipe in his mouth, but it doesn't look as if it's been cut off properly, unfortunately. Hold on. There you go. Little Illich, and he's smoking a pipe. So he's supposed to put the pipe in there. That makes the figure, apparently. Weird looking thing, isn't it? So that's one item. Take his pipe back out. The Dark Side figure. The Jessica Jones figure. The Zelda t-shirt. The Harry Potter 4-pack, for a set of 3-pack of notepads. And the Doc Brown pixel figure. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm quite happy with that. So that's the Zbox for January 2021. February 2021. And I'm going to also add on now on the end some pictures of the figures out the boxes. So this is a close-up of the Dark Side figure. As you can see, it's quite well made, very, very sturdy. And he's from DC. And it's quite a size as well, because I've got quite a big hand span, so he must be a good, what, 5 inches, maybe 6 inches tall. That's the first figure, and that's Dark Side. And this is the pixel figure that was in the box. This is Doc Brown. As you can see, a lot of detail on him. A lot of detail. He's got his chemical suit on. So I've got 2 of them from Back to the Future now. I've got this one and I can't remember the name of the other character. Oh, do me nothing. I've already had it anyway in my other box. So I've got 2 now of the Back to the Future. If I get Marty now, I can put all 3 of them next to each other. Now this is the Jessica Jones figure. As you can see, turn it all the way around. It's Jessica Jones and she's kicking a wall in. And if you wanted proof that it was an official figure, underneath you've got the Netflix logo and a Q-fig for Jessica Jones. Marvel, there you see. A lot of detail in it. Again, if I bring it closer, whoops, if I bring it closer, you can see the detail that's in the figure. Turn it round. It's a really good figure as well. It's quite sturdy. Even the base, look, it's got bits of shrapnel on the floor. What she's kicked off the wall by the look of it. So that's a Jessica Jones Q-fig. So there you go. There was some little bits of extra video just showing you the figures and the quality of them. And that was the Zbox complete for February 2021. So, like I said, that was a marked improvement. That box was definitely on the Zbox for January, which I thought, to be honest with you, was quite rubbish. But this one, with it having 4 figures in, and a t-shirt and a set of notepads, I thought that was pretty good, actually. It's not bad value. Again, the information for Zavi will be underneath this vlog, along with links to the website, and the prices are all on there anyway. usually what I do when I've had an unboxing, which I'll do at the end of this vlog, is I'll put a little bit of footage on the end which basically shows you all the information you need to know about the Zavvi Zbox and also the Threads box which you do, which I'm no longer subscribed to, but it's a good one. Anyway, since I last spoke to you, I've not been doing a lot, as in, let me get this straight, I've not been going anywhere or doing anything majorly in that respect, but I have kept myself busy. I've been reading, been watching some TV comedies, which I will review coming up, the book and also the comedy series, and I've been doing these things behind what you can see, jigsaws. That one there is a buried blueprint jigsaw. And what it was, my mum had 7 or 8 of these buried blueprint jigsaws, and we are now basically just trying to sell them. But the thing is, because we're not sure if they're complete, we don't know how much to ask for them. So Jason here is doing the jigsaws to make sure they're complete. I'm doing them sort of interspersing them with my jigsaws, because I've still got about another 15 or 20, maybe even 30 or 40 actually to do. So that's keeping me busy for a bit. Now, like I said, not much has been happening. We haven't been doing anything majorly exciting. It's been just a case of keeping an eye on the dog, who is making a massive recovery, a real massive recovery. She's doing really, really well. Excuse me a minute. It's tea, by the way. It's not alcohol, don't worry. The other thing is, because I've been reading this biography, which I've just finished, which was Richard Bryer's, more about that in a minute, but what I decided to do was, because I am a massive fan of The Good Life. The Good Life's a fantastic comedy series, it really is. I'll be doing a review for that in a couple more vlogs time. But while I was on Amazon the other day, I decided to buy the other comedy series he's famous for, and I don't know if you've ever seen this one. It's called Ever Decreasing Circles. It's a fantastic series. It really is a fantastic series, and of course, as well as having Richard Bryer's in, it's also got Peter Egan, who's in the middle, and Penelope Wilton. Get the fingers right there. And basically, she is married to him, and he basically is one of these that controls everything in the village. He controls absolutely everything. You know, all the committees, all the groups, all the meetings, he's the head of them, until this guy in the middle moves in. And he's a bit cleverer and a bit more suave and sophisticated and good looking. And all of a sudden, his world starts unravelling. But it is a comedy series, believe it or not. It is a comedy series. It's not a drama, it's a comedy series. And I'm looking forward to watching that. Now, also, of course, I've been keeping an eye on the news and everything, what's been going on with vaccinations and what's been going on with the COVID situation. And it amazes me that people are still idiots. It amazes me that people are still having parties. They're still having meetings of 20 and 30 people, and they're still getting broke up by the police and getting fined massive amounts. And then they're sort of like wondering why. And it just absolutely amazes me. It really does, because at the moment we've got a member of our family, not my direct member of family, but a member of our family who's seriously, seriously ill. And her son, unfortunately, he cannot get to visit her as much as he would like to because of COVID. And when you think about people like that who want to be able to see somebody, and then you've got people that basically are just exploiting it and doing whatever they like, I think it hits home really at how stupid and how insensitive and how selfish people are, which is a shame really, because round where I live, the majority of the people around where I live, not all of them, but the majority of them, have stuck to the rules. They've stuck to what they're supposed to do. They're not going anywhere, they're not seeing anybody, they're staying in. Yeah, they might be bored or whatever, but they're finding hobbies, they're finding things to do. You know, they're using the internet more, they're using Zoom, Netflix, and they're using Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and HeyU and Blinkbox and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. And that's the key, really, keeping yourself entertained, keeping yourself busy, because you can't just sit there and stare at the four walls, otherwise you go up literally up the four walls. And I think that's the problem, really. Now, one thing I have done again is I bought some more jigsaws. And the last 2 of them arrived today, and I'll just show you the 2 that arrived today. You know I'm a massive Wasgidge fan. These are the 2 which I've got to add to my collection of about another 20 of these to do. There's this one, which is called Highway Holdup. And basically, this one is a Wasgidge Destiny. You don't puzzle what you see, you puzzle what's going to happen in the future. That's what the jigsaw actually is. It isn't the picture you see on the box. So that's one. And the other one This one I'm dead happy with, I really am. Now, don't get me wrong, I am heterosexual. I'm straight, but I completely and fully understand about gay people and about gay marriages and about gay, rights and all that sort of stuff, and I'm 100% behind it. I'm 100% behind it, and that's why I bought this one. And this one is really cool because it's called a piece of pride. And if you have a look at the march, there's people all in multicolours and all doing that sort of stuff, love and pride. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, aside from the Jigsaws, why should it matter who you are if you are in love with somebody and they love you? Oh, excuse me, my phone again. Now, I know you'll be watching this, Ian and Pauline. I'm sorry I didn't answer your phone call then. It was your phone that went in the middle of doing my vlog, but I will ring you back after this, after I've done this vlog. And as I was saying, yeah, to me, to be honest with you, people are too thin-skinned, particularly in this day and age. I mean, at the end of the day, should it matter? If a couple are in love, whether they're two men, two women, or a man and a woman, or whatever, I don't understand why people have to be so high and mighty about it. I really don't, because at the end of the day, it's live and let live. I mean, if they're not interfering with your way of life, why should you interfere with their way of life? Because at the end of the day, there's nothing that says love has got to be between a man and a woman. I don't know anywhere where it says that. If you've got two people who feel love for each other, then I don't think there's any problem with that. I really don't. And over the years, I've had homosexual friends. I've got lesbian friends. I've got all sorts of friends, you know what I mean? And they're all friends. They're all friends, I don't see one as being more friend than the other because they're straight or whatever, I don't see all that crap because I think it's just stupid, I really do. And these people that get on the high horse and give it all this, oh, no, I don't agree with it, I don't agree with it. If it's a man who says it, usually it's because he's hiding some kind of knowledge that at some point in his life he's fancied a man and he doesn't like it because it defies his logic, it defies everything he is. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm so open-minded, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Like I said, I don't give a monkeys. I used to hang around with a lad years and years and years ago when I was like 15, 16, and he was homosexual. And he actually, I will be honest with you, he actually tried to pull me. And at the time, I was really flattered and everything, and I weren't sure because I was at that weird age where I didn't know how I was going to be in my life. I didn't know what I was going to say or what I was going to do. And he literally, he thought it was hilarious because, he knew he was homosexual. He knew he was. He never had any qualms about that. And the funny thing is, this is what absolutely amazed me. He was called Michael. And years later, I am talking 25 years later, when I bumped into him again, I was in Hanley Town Centre and I was in the market there, the Pottery Shopping Centre. And I saw a friend of mine from this place that I hadn't seen for over 20 years, and he recognised me and I recognised him, and we were all talking and everything. And then I suddenly said to him, I said, where's Michael these days? Do you speak to him or anything? And he said to him, it's over there at that table. I said, nobody over there, mate. I said, there's just a woman there. He says, and he looked at me and he raised his eyebrows, and I went, you're joking? I went, you're kidding me? And I went across, and I said, he said, oh yeah, by the way, his name's Michelle now, not Michael. And I went across, and he looked up at me, or she looked at, Michelle looked up at me and recognised me straight away and stood up and gave me this big hug, and I was like, wow, that was something I was not expecting. But, I was all smiles and laughter and everything. It was brilliant. It was really, really good. And I always knew, to be honest, he was not happy. He was literally a woman trapped in a man's body. I knew that anyway. He never had any male interests whatsoever. He wasn't interested in the male anatomy in any way, shape or form himself. He wasn't one of these men bragging about his prowess or anything like that. He was kind of he never even mentioned anything. He kept himself to himself, and all it was basically he was a woman trapped in a man's body. And I really do feel for those people because they take so much stick and so much abuse and so much bad stuff that you just think to yourself, why are people even bothered? Why are people even bothered? Because surely it's their individual. If they're adults and they've made the choice and they know exactly who they are and what they are, who are you to challenge them? They don't challenge you. They don't come up to you and say, how dare you be heterosexual? You should be gay because this is how I am. So why should we go up to them and say, well, hang on a minute, you can't be gay, you should be heterosexual like we are? Because we're men. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, going back to what I was on about before, yeah, that's my pride jigsaw. Now, over the last couple of 3 weeks, I've actually bought 8 more jigsaws, and I'll put them on another vlog. I bought 4 from a company called All Jigsaw Puzzles, and the reason I bought them isn't because they were absolutely outstanding, I'd never seen nothing like it. It was for the fact that I love the designs of the jigsaws, but I also wanted to support a British business, a UK business. And alljigsawpuzzles.co.uk, again, I'm going to put the link underneath this vlog. They basically are an English jigsaw making company. Yes, they sell branded jigsaws, don't get me wrong, but they sell absolutely loads of their own jigsaws, their own branding, their own all jigsaw puzzles. And they're really, really good. They are really good. They are quality jigsaws. And I've got 4 of them sitting in the other room. 2 Chaos jigsaws, which is a range they do, called like Chaos at Christmas, Chaos in the holidays, Chaos at Valentine's Day, and so on and so forth. I've got 2 of them in there. And I've also got 2 other cartoony type ones as well. So I've got 4 of all jigsaw puzzles, but I've also got 4 more Wasgidges in there to go with these 2. And I had 3 jigsaws from another company, and these were in square boxes. And the cool thing about these square boxes was that each of them had a theme. Now, one of them was Willy Wonka, and basically everything about Willy Wonka was hidden within these pictures. You know, there was like Oompa Loompas and Augustus Gloop and Mike TV. They're all hidden on this jigsaw. And there's another one that's all Shakespeare, and everything to do with the jigsaw. It's all Shakespearean stuff all the way around it. You can't see them, but there's little references to different things like Romeo and Juliet and Othello and Hamlet and Bottom and all that sort of stuff. And the other one was I'll get there in a minute. Arthur Conan Doyle. I forgot his name. Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. God almighty, my head. I must be my age. Anyway, Sherlock Holmes. And this is all stuff to do with Sherlock Holmes. So you've got like, you'll have like a magnifying glass hidden somewhere, and a Hound of the Baskervilles somewhere, and Mycroft and Moriarty and all this sort of stuff all hidden in this jigsaw. And I love anything like that because it taxes my brain a little bit, and I get educated as well. Now, the beauty about these berry blueprints that are behind me is not only are they nice jigsaws, they're informative, because they've all got writing on them. They've all got writing on them. The first one I did was called Dinosaur Island, and you're going to see a picture of that near the end of this vlog. And basically what it is it's a jigsaw that's tall but not as wide as a normal jigsaw, and it's literally got the entire thing of dinosaurs on it, and there's information about each dinosaur, what it's called, and how, you know, what they're supposed to evolve from, and what they ate and what they didn't eat, and it's all on this jigsaw. So not only are you doing a jigsaw, you are actually keeping your creative mind going for doing a jigsaw. You're keeping your intelligence going as well, because you're learning stuff. You're actually reading while doing a jigsaw, which, you know, to me, it's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. And I've done tons of jigsaws like that. There's a certain company called Eurographics. They specialise in that sort of stuff, and some of their jigsaws are absolutely phenomenal. You've seen them before on my vlog, things like the human body, and all about space, and all about different aircraft and cars and all sorts of stuff. And I've got a load of them in my list on Amazon, absolutely lots of them, and I'd love to buy them all. Now, I just want to say something first. Now, you know I'm a Funko Pop collector. You know I'm a big Funko Pop collector. Well, I just want to show you something. My last 2 Funko Pops that I've had. Now, these 2 Funko Pops I ordered a long time ago, and I forgot all about them, to be honest, but they came the other day. Now, this is for Ian and Pauline, because Ian and Pauline absolutely love Coca-Cola. And if you have a look at that, let me just turn it around. It's actually a Coca-Cola can, and it's a Funko Pop of a Coca-Cola can. And the other one that came is a Coca-Cola bottle cap. So as you can see, there's a bottle cap there, and there's a can there. So them were my 2 latest Funko Pops. And I'll just show them you when they're out of the box, because they're absolutely brilliant. These are really, really cool Funko Pops. And anybody, like I say, anybody who knows me knows I love me Funko Pops. Absolutely love them. But I can get it out. Yeah, I absolutely love me Funko Pops. And this is the Funko Pop. This is absolutely brilliant. Just take a look at that. Just take a look at that for a Funko Pop. Look at that. It's even got the can lid on it and everything, and his feet and his hands. So you've got that one, which is the can. Coca-Cola can. And I will actually show you the bottle top as well. I do struggle getting stuff out of boxes, so you'll have to bear with me a minute. Oh no, that one came out easy. Because because I thought I was going to struggle, it came out easy. And that is the Coca-Cola bottle top, complete with bottle opener, as you can see. And there it is, look, it's a bottle top, a proper bottle top. It's got the Coca-Cola logo on, so you put them next to one another and you've got a really, really cool pair of Funko Pops. I absolutely adore them. You know, put them like that, put them hand in hand if you want. Well, close. There you go. They're linked. So them are the two things which I also had as well over the last couple of weeks. But these only came the other day. I've also been adding, obviously, to my pin badge collection, which is coming on nice now. I've got 15 of them, and today we transferred them into a wooden case, which came with the pin badges. It's actually especially for this pin badge collection, the Danbury Mint pin badge, Liverpool pin badge collection. So once that's finished, there'll be 50 in there, and there's 15 at the moment. So that'll be something nice to show you as well. Anyway, coming up, I've got a few little pictures, and there's also, first of all, a book review, and the book review is Richard Briers' biography. Now, as part of my review range, I'm also going to start reviewing the books I've read. Now, the book I read this time is called More Than Just a Good Life, as you can see from this picture, and it's by James Hogg. And it's about the life and career of Richard Briers. Now, if you're from the UK, you'll know who Richard Briers is. I don't know if you'll know him if you're from America or not, because he didn't really do a lot in America. But, and a lot of people in this country will know this, he was a very popular comedy actor that people know of. That's what they know him as, a comedy actor, but he was so much more. Now, this book reveals that when he was at school, he literally he wasn't one of these who left school with 90 qualifications, you know, and went straight into acting and thought, yeah, that's it, I've got all the qualifications I need to do anything. He wasn't. He left school with nothing, no qualifications or nothing. He didn't like education. In fact, he was at school, he was a bit of a nightmare, shall we say, because he literally, if he could make money out of something, he would make money out of something, and he used to like sell comics to the kids and sell sweets. And then later on, when he was a little bit older, he was selling cigarettes. You know, he was a bit of a lad. He was a bit of one of them. You know, like in Dad's Army. You know the part that Walker plays, the one who can get hold of anything. Well, this was a bit what Richard Briers was like when he was at school. Now, of course, he went into rap. We went into theatre like a lot of people did. You know, local theatres and all this sort of stuff. And he liked a guy called Sir Henry Irving. He was literally his role model, if you like. He looked up to this guy called Sir Henry Irving, who was massive in the theatre in the late 1800s, early 1900s. He was really big, and he basically moulded himself on it because he wanted to be a serious actor at first, a serious as in a Shakespearean type actor, you know, one of these who did all the proper plays and stuff. Anyway, things happened in his life. Eventually, he ended up being on TV. Now, the thing about Richard Briers is he is one of those comedians, well, he's one of those actors, sitcom actors, that basically his facial expressions will make you laugh, because some of the faces he pulls and some of the way his eyes move and his face moves is absolutely hilarious. He's definitely a really, really good sitcom actor. And, of course, in The Good Life, he plays Tom Good. Now, opposite Tom Good is Felicity Kendall, who plays his wife, Barbara. Now, they are basically a suburban couple who decide that they're going to leave the rat race and become self-sufficient. Now, bear in mind, this was in the 70s. And in the 70s, this kind of thing wasn't really that big. It didn't come big until about 4 or 5 years later. Anyway, he was in that. Now, when he came out of that, he also did voices of characters, like he was the voice of Rhubarb and Custard, if you ever remember that series, a kids series called Rhubarb and Custard. Well, he did all the voices for that. And he was also in another series, like I've just shown you earlier on, Ever Decreasing Circles. But, this is the but, he was a serious actor, and not many people saw that side of him unless you were a theatre goer, because he was an actor with a lot more to him than just a sitcom actor. And this book explores that. He was in a film with Robert De Niro. He was in a film with Denzel Washington. You know, Kenneth Branagh literally put him in almost anything he could put him in to do with like the Shakespearean stuff and that, because he knew he was a good actor and a lot of people did not appreciate just how good he was. Again, in this book, you get a lot of his private life in there, you know, about him and his wife Annie, and also the kids. He had two girls. He had Lucy, and I can't remember the other one's name now. It's just skipped me head. And basically, it's about also how they grew up watching the father, and how one of them went into acting and the other one didn't. And again, it's all explored in this book, and it's done brilliantly. It is really, really good. I've never read a book by James Hogg before, but he's really, really good because he uses the family to talk about Richard Briers, and he uses stars as well. The amount of stars that, you know, are quoting him in this book, and all the people from like Brian Murphy all the way up to, you got, like you said, Kenneth Branagh and Denzel Washington and Robert De Niro. You know, they're all mentioned in this book. And it gives you a wonderful insight into this actor. And also it deals with his demons. And his demons they were quite funny actually, his demons, because one of his demons was he could swear like a trooper. You wouldn't believe it. And if you've ever seen The Good Life and Ever Decreasing Circles, you wouldn't believe it. He could swear for England. He literally could. He was literally an effing man. You know, they used to have swear boxes, and he used to fill them just off himself. So he was also that as well. But when he come out of doing comedy, the BBC obviously decided that, you know, he was more than a comedy actor, and he appeared in the first 3 series of Monarch of the Glen. Now, that wasn't a comedy, that was more a comedy drama, because there was a lot of dramatic stuff in. And he was getting quite old at this point, and his health wasn't brilliant because he'd been smoking for, I think he said 50 years, I think they said altogether. And he ended up with emphysema. And emphysema, obviously, is a killer. And he knew he might have 5 years, but he might not have 5 years. You know, it was one of them sort of things. Anyway, he left acting sort of from the Monarch of the Glen, but he said to him, look, I want you to kill off my character. Kill off my character, because I don't want the temptation to come back, because I know I will do. I know I want to come back. So, you know, you get that as well in fighting his demons, because at the end, when he got diagnosed with emphysema, he didn't want to be treated. He didn't want any treatment for it, because he used to say that he'd done it himself. He bought it on himself by smoking for 50 years. And it takes a lot to admit that. But yeah, it tells the story literally from when he was born all the way up to when he passed away. And there's some fantastic stuff in there. And I would give it 8 out of 10 as a biography read. And that's James Hogg, and it's Richard Briers, More Than Just a Good Life. Now, the comedy box set I want to do a review of today, we've just finished it actually, is a 1970s/80s series, and it was absolutely fantastic in this country, and when it hit America, it sold millions. Everybody wanted to see it in America, even though the BBC didn't think it would be popular in America. It absolutely stormed America, and it's a series called Are You Being Served? Now, anybody who's ever watched it will know it's about a department store, and it's about a men's counter, a women's counter, a floor walker, and the managerial staff that go with it, including catering and caretakers and all sorts. And basically, each episode, you only ever see like 5 different locations, which are the canteen, the shop floor, Mr. Rumbold's office, who's the head of the department, Mr. Grace's office, who's the head of the building, and a couple of other rooms as well. But basically, it all takes place in this department store. And the stars of it are not in any particular order. Molly Sugden, Wendy Richards, Frank Thornton. At the start, Mr. Lucas, which was Trevor Bannister, and also John Inman playing Mr. Humphreys, and Nicholas Smith playing Mr. Rumbold. And if you watch this series, you will literally side split, because the stuff that they do and the stuff that they allowed themselves to be done is absolute genius. It is absolute genius. You can't watch an episode of it without laughing. You can't. I mean, I've seen a few of the episodes before, but even I hadn't seen most of these. Now, there's 10 series of it. 10 series of Are You Being Served? And it was that popular that 7 years after it finished, the writers, Perry and Croft, decided that they were going to make another series following on from it. And it was called Grace and Favour. But I'll review that later another time. But Are You Being Served? This fictional store is called Grace Brothers. And what it used to be in department stores, it's not so much now, but in department stores, there used to be a thing called a floor walker. And he would be a guy standing in the middle, flower in his top pocket, very, very military-looking sort of guy walking around. In this case, it's Frank Thornton with little tash and all that, And he would basically, as people came down from the lift, he would go up to them and say, can I help you, sir? Or are you being served or whatever? And they would say, I'm looking for a tie, or I'm looking for a lady's hat or whatever. And he would literally look at the men's counter and say either Mr. Humphreys, which was John Inman, Mr. Lucas, or Mr. Granger, who was the head at the start, the head of the men's department, are you free? Now, John Inman played a fantastic character called Mr. Humphreys, and he is as camp as anything. And you all the way through it, you don't know what his sexuality is because he's so camp. He's so camp, he could be a gay person easy. But he also makes comments about women he knows as well. So you kind of don't know all the way through. And there's nothing suggested, It's like you're always wondering in your head. Now, the beauty of this 10-disc box set that we've got is at the end there's a bonus disc. And the bonus disc has got interviews with them all. And the interview, John Inman's actually on it. And he even doesn't reveal what sexuality this character was. So you're always left wondering, and you haven't got a clue. Now, Molly Sugden, she played a fantastic part called Mrs. Slocum, and she basically was the matriarch of the women's department. They used to call it ladies' intimate apparel, but it was basically hats, scarves, coats, anything to do with women's apparel, and she was the head. And she was one of these she was raised up north, but because this department store was in London, she liked to think she was better than she was. So she would literally say, Captain Peacock, could I have a word about Mr. Lucas? And he'd come over and he'd say, what is it? She'd say, well, I just want him to know that if he carries on insulting me, I'll bat him round the ears. And every so often, her voice would go from London to the north in one sentence. And she would literally get insulted by this Mr. Lucas, played by Trevor Bannister in the first part, and then later on he was replaced by a guy called Mike Berry who played Mr. Spooner, and he was just as bad. And basically she would literally handle these insults, and sometimes the look she would give this Mr. Lucas, the look itself is enough to get a forearm smash. It's one of those looks that you sort of think, whoa, that was evil, that was malice. But the good thing about Mrs. Slocum is, and Molly Sugden especially, Molly Sugden was a fantastic actress, and in this she literally lets the writers do anything with the character. She'll wear the most ridiculous costumes, she'll be put in the stupidest and crazy situations, and the one thing about it which was always funny because of how she said it was she had a cat, but she never referred to it as a cat. She always referred to it as her pussy. Now, of course, nowadays, people would jump on that and laugh the socks off and roll about and go, oh, God, you can't say that, you can't say that. But she played it so deadpan, and you knew she was talking about a cat. But she'd say things like, she'd be on the phone, and she'd be talking to a neighbour, and she'd say, can you do me a favour? Can you go to my letterbox, Mr. Khan, or whatever his name was, and look through my letterbox, and if you can see my pussy. And, of course, you knew it was a double entendre, and you were crying laughing because it sounded so ridiculous. And it was just hilarious. You were literally crying with laughter. Yes, it is postcard humour. It's the end of the pier humour. But it is absolutely brilliant. And it's called Are You Being Served? And we finally got the box set. It was a while back now. But we finally watched it. And we watched all 10 series within the space of, oh, God, sometimes we're watching a series a night. And it's just hilarious, honestly. You've got to watch it. And it's definitely an 8 out of 10, this one. It's Are You Being Served? And like I said, it's got Molly Sugden, Frank Thornton. Now, unfortunately, the horrible thing is, Trevor Bannister, Molly Sugden, Frank Thornton, Nicholas Smith, John Inman, and Wendy Richard are all no longer with us. All of them are gone. All of them have passed on. And that is a scary, scary, scary thought when you're watching a series and you think that all of them are gone. And even the caretaker, played by the fantastically brilliant and very underrated Arthur English, he's in that. And there's cameos as well in there. You see Gordon Kay of Hello Hello fame. He's in that. He's in about 4 episodes, actually. And also one of the other parts in it. Now, they've got a young Mr. Grace and an older Mr. Grace. And one of the Mr. Graces is played by Kenneth Waller. Now, as you noticed in my last vlog, I did a review of a series called Bread, and I told you about Grandad. Now, Grandad, the character in it, was played by Kenneth Waller. But this is what I found out the other day. When he was in Are You Being Served in 1983 and 4, he was only 52 or 53 years old, and he was playing somebody who was in their 80s. He was that good an actor. So even when he was in Bread, he was only about 60, but they did him up to look about 80. You know, you always got the impression he was 20 years older than he was. But yeah, he was a fantastic actor, Kenneth Waller was. He's another one that was basically only in a few programmes, but some of the stuff he was in was brilliant, and he always stole it anyway. But yeah, it's a fantastic series, and I would definitely give it 8 out of 10 for Are You Being Served. Sorry, I prattled on a bit there. I got a bit carried away with that. I haven't done any more Lego builds since I last did my vlog. I've still just done Sadio Mane and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I tell you something, with how we're playing at the moment, I think they ought to have these Lego figures on the pitch instead of our players, because we're getting absolutely hammered. We're playing absolute dreadful, we are. I mean, losing 4-1 to Man City the other day. I don't know what it is, but I'm not as bothered about football as I used to be. People used to talk to me about Liverpool, and I could talk to them about it for hours and hours and hours. Literally, I could reel off figures and dates and times and players from years ago and all that. And I've just lost a bit of interest now. I don't know whether it's because I'm getting old or what, but I just don't talk about football as much as I used to, by no way, shape or form. I'll have a rattle sometimes with my nephew, Oliver. He'll ring me up when he's on his way to work, and I'll have a rattle with him, and we'll talk a little bit about gaming and all sorts, and then we'll get on to football and mention a bit of stuff, but it just doesn't bother me no more. Like I said, I don't know whether it's because I'm getting old or what. I've told you that my dog's getting a lot better, but the dog is doing brilliant. She really is doing brilliant. And I've got a bit of footage coming up in a minute, what my wife recorded over Christmas. Oh, God, it's mad. I don't know how I survived with that dog, but over Christmas she was a totally different dog anyway. She was all bouncy and lively and jumping about all over the place. She still has little spurts. Every so often she'll go a bit loopy and start running around like she's a puppy. And then literally within 10 minutes she's absolutely knackered and fast asleep because she's worn herself out. She doesn't realise that her body can't keep up with her mind. Her mind is a puppy, her body is an old dog. She's old, you know, she's coming up to, we think, 13 possibly. Yeah, 13 years old. And that's quite old for a dog, especially a German Shepherd, Lurcher Cross. And another thing that happened a couple of times now in the last 4 days is we've had a bit of snow in Blackpool. Miracle. Anyway, it's only been light flurries, except the other morning when we got up and everywhere was white. It was about a week and a half ago, and everywhere was white. The decking was completely white. And even the path, because nobody had walked on it, it looked brilliant. It looked beautiful. It looked like some winter postcard scene. And then, of course, once people had been and gone and all that, it was just a massive mush and horrible black slush, you know. But, yeah, not got much planned at all. I have got something sorted for Valentine's Day. I don't know whether you're into Valentine's Day. I celebrate it every year, and I know people say, well, once you're married, etc., you stop celebrating it. I don't, and I'm never going to stop celebrating it, because it's a day where even if, I mean, I tell my wife I love her every day, and she tells me she loves me every day. We've done it all the time. In 20 years, I don't think we've gone, well, probably a few days, but not many, where we haven't told each other we love each other. And if you can't celebrate Valentine's Day because you think there's no point, then something inside you's died. That's what I think anyway. Something that used to spark has gone out. And I think just by saying you love somebody, and I don't mean going mental and buying them a £2,000 ring or something stupid like that. I mean, my wife, I said to her, you know, what do you want for Valentine's Day? And at first I thought she said pants. I thought, oh, way up, me looks in. And it weren't, it were plants. It were plants. Anyway, I went onto a wish list and had a look, and she put these plants in a wish list. So I bought her a couple of plants because that's what she wanted. And she said to me, what do you want? I said, a couple of jigsaws. But the thing is, we buy each other stuff all through the year. If I see a book and I think, hang on, Deb might want that on Amazon, she don't know about that, I'll get that, bang, boom. And she does the same. She's told me now I've got a surprise coming next Tuesday and I don't even know what the bloody hell it is. So, you know, it doesn't have to be Valentine's Day to tell your partner you love them or to show that you love them. And all these people who are like, oh no, what's the point? Well, I'm sorry, but there's something inside you that's died. It's not Valentine's Day's fault, and it's not love's fault. Because if you love somebody, mate, you'll love them forever. You will love them forever. There won't be no stop point. Point of fact, speaking of that, actually, and are you being saved? Molly Sugden, she was married to her husband, William Moore, for 42 years, and the only thing that split them was when he passed away. You know, when he passed away, they'd been married 42 years. And think of the struggles they'd had, because they'd both been acting, so they'd not been at home, they wouldn't have seen much of each other because they were always going back and forwards, left and right, here, there and everywhere. You know, but they still managed to bring up two lads, you know, two guys who are now married with kids of their own, etc., etc. And the only thing that separated them was him passing away. And unfortunately, she passed away in 2009, age 86. So yeah, you know, it amazes me how people can say that, how they can say, you know, oh, there's no point having Valentine's Day. Don't get me wrong, if you're one of these people who've had bad experiences with romance, and you're sort of like, not bothering no more, can't be arsed, you know, that's fair enough. But if you're with somebody and you're still with that person, and you should be happy with that person. If you're not, then, you know, why are you with that person? But, you know, me and Deb, like I said, we're just one of those couples, and all I've done for Deb, literally, I bought her these 2 plants, and I said to her, do you want a card? And she said, no, she didn't bother about a card, because obviously we can't go out and buy one. She said, just write me a new poem. And I wrote her a new poem. She didn't know about it. She hadn't heard it until Sunday, but I wrote a new poem. Because it's so easy to write poetry for Deb. Because literally, all I do sometimes is I close my eyes, listen to my heart, write it down on paper. And that's it. That's how it works for me. That's how my poetry does work. You know, sometimes it's situations, sometimes it's people, sometimes it's life. I wrote a very poignant poem a while back about dementia. And it's sad to say that poem has come true for one member of my family. And it's a really, really heartbreaking poem. And I know that this person has gone through exactly what this thing says. Exactly what this poem says. And actually, when I first wrote it, people were saying to me, oh, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry you're going through this. Oh, you know, my heart's out for you. And I said, hey, hang on. I am not going through this. But because I'd written it, how I'd written it, people thought it was from me. It was so emotional. They thought it must be from somebody who's experiencing this, you know, because how he's worded it and everything. But I hadn't. It was literally straight from me onto paper. And that's how I do my poetry. And I've got some, you know, people who absolutely love my poetry. They look out for every poem I write. I'm going to mention a name here and embarrass her. Sarah Barnett. She loves my poetry. Chris Ann Ward. She's another one who used to literally, you know, she used to love my poetry. She'd read it all day and night. And it's nothing romantic, you know. There's nothing like, oh, God, yeah, I fancy him because he writes poetry. She just loves the poetry. And that's fantastic for me because, it's pride. I'm dead proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that people love my poetry. It makes me think, you know, I have actually got a purpose. And if writing poetry is my purpose, then that's what I'll do. Anyway, I'm going to go for now. You all take care. I'll do another vlog soon. Sorry it's a bit long, but I had waited about 12 days to do it.